What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James Shoot.com,
and it is a very, very special day for me. It is DC's Suicide Squad.
Yes, a movie that is arguably the last big summer blockbuster.
This is it, man.
We got some good releases coming out. Like next week we have Peach Dragon and Sausage Party, but still none on the level of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, let's talk about the elephant in the room that is Batman vs. Superman. Didn't really please fans, critics, didn't do as well financially as I thought it was going to do.
Came about 200 million short.
Yeah. So this is kind of their DC's redemption shot for a lot of people. Most people just kind of, not like us, were like, we need a redemption shot. Some people are just like, yeah, it's okay, I'll go see the next thing. But a lot of things here. The first film adaptation of Harley, live action adaptation of Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie. Got Jai Courtney, got Will Smith.
A new Joker.
New Joker, Jared Leto. We got, did I say Viola Davis already?
No, but...
Viola Davis.
Yep. Amanda Waller.
There's a lot of people. Amanda Waller. So, I'm going into this movie hoping, obviously we know that after BVS that they wanted to change it up, make this movie a little bit more comedic. It looks very wild from all the trailers. It looks very quick and witty. So I'm hoping that that really kind of translates here. And I'm hoping it's a really good movie. Like, regardless of what you hear, a lot now, us critics don't like to see bad movies. And we're not, and there's nothing wrong with DC. We're not anti-DC with all the ridiculousness going on right now. But I hope it's good.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's like an all-time high for me. I'm like, you can't get higher where I'm at right now. And plus, I think Margot Robbie, she just looks like Harley Quinn. So I'm ready to go into the movie. This movie's what, about 2 hours?
Yeah, about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Well, let's see if this movie's gonna make us happy or if we're gonna want to commit suicide.
Ooh!
Alright, so we just got out of DC's Suicide Squad.
I'm not waiting. I don't know what
that is the song.
Yeah, I don't know the words, but you got it.
Well, I wanted this movie to be my favorite movie of the year, and I just can't say that it was my favorite movie of the year. And then my real... That was horrible. My rating scale is eh. It was eh, okay, good, very good.
Very good.
Very good, and loved it. And this was just it was good. It was good. We'll keep it very short for this first part, then we'll go into spoilers later. But so I will say this: the cast wasn't my issues. I loved the cast. I loved the chemistry. I loved it. It looked like they had so much fun making the film, and it looks like they like each other and all that good stuff. My problems were Enchantress and the story. Those two things for me was just, to me, it wasn't even good. So it went from like the cast, I loved the cast, and the story, and then Enchantress, and then that's where we're in the middle of. It was a good movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had fun. But just those two things for me, and then that third act, and then, yeah. But it was good. I think everyone should watch it, and we'll go into characters, full details after this part when we go into spoilers. But outside of that, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I don't understand all the hate that it's getting on Rotten Tomatoes. I get that people think that, oh, the critics hate the DC and da-da-da. I understand why people think that, because I don't even understand that. I think it was, what is it, 20 what?
28.
Isn't that lower than BVS?
I don't know.
Because this is the BVS. This is better than BVS.
Yeah.
So I don't get. I almost think it's kind of like.
Well, we also have to note that most reviews, even though there's a lot already, most reviews aren't published till the Friday. So all we know, that could jump up to 40-50% tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Or even higher. But I mean, there's already a lot of. There's already a lot of reviews already, so but that could change tomorrow. Like, we can change, and we've already seen it fluctuated. I believe Tuesday was the embargo, so when critics were able to review it, it was, I want to say, at a 40, and then it dropped to a 30, to a 20. It was back at a 30, now it's back in the 20s. So I mean, it's really hard to kind of just gauge it, especially before the movie's opening day.
Yeah, but it just seems like it's the popular thing to say. I'm not saying that critics are saying that. I'm just saying it appears that it's just the popular thing to not like the movie or something. I don't know. What is it at right now?
27.
Tied. BVS and Suicide Squad, 27%.
Yeah, see? It seems like it's just a popular thing to do. I don't know. But anyway, I thought the movie was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was better than BVS. And I enjoyed BVS, as you knew from my review of that. I liked BVS, but I thought this was even better. It was a lot of fun.
I wasn't very kind about BVS, you know, especially because I saw it like 3 times in a matter of a week. But I 100% agree with you. I think this was a major improvement from Batman versus Superman. Was it a great movie? Is it going to be on my top 10 list? No. I mean, there's a lot of flaws here. There's a lot of things that need to be worked out. There's a lot of stories coming out right now about the issues with the story. You know, I mean, there was just a lot of things I had questions about this whole entire, you know, culmination. Like David Ayer wanted to make a more dark movie, studios wanted to make a lighter movie, more funny, and they decided to kind of blend the two, is what I've been reading. And you know, that could really hurt an overall story. You know, that could really mess with things. And I don't know if that's necessarily true, but that's just things that I've been reading.
Yeah, Hollywood Reporter is also saying that they gave David Ayer 6 weeks to write this script, and then he had to go right into
which is a lot of time.
go right into production.
Pre-production, yeah. I mean, I think this movie is good, but I always have to say that with kind of agreements, because it's just half of it is really good and the other half is not good at all. So it's like just kind of yeah, it's kind of in the middle. But I mean, it's just not as good as, and I think that I had a lot of hope for this movie to surprise me. You know, I was saying, you know, the weeks leading up to it, I was like, yeah, you know, I'm hoping it's good. But I think that I was expecting this movie to be that surprised and be like, yes, you know. But it wasn't. I think that, like you said, the problem lies with the story. The problem lies with Enchantress, which we'll get into more in spoilers. I think the soundtrack was great. I think that one of the better things about this movie was the soundtrack. This jukebox soundtrack where we're getting, you know, Sympathy of the Devil, House of the Rising Sun. You have all these great songs playing, and it really kind of gives this movie this nice style. In the beginning, that first half, we have introductions with characters, and their stats are going down the screen, and we're being introduced to them in a fun way, something different. We're not just being told. However, a few moments go by and then we're being told that their story, and we're kind of hearing the same things over again. It's small missteps like that. I think the humor sometimes works, sometimes it feels forced. I think there are some really solid performances in here, but I think that a lot of these characters lacked a certain presence for me. I think that some people, like a few of them, stole the show. Will Smith, who, if you remember last week, I was like the one that I doubted. I was like, I don't know, because he's going to be... Will Smith doesn't feel like he belongs there. And he steals the show, and he's the heart of the movie. His storyline, his character arc is the heart of this movie. And even though it is simple and it is not very complex and sometimes a bit cheesy, it works. Diablo came out of nowhere for me. It surprised me. I enjoy his character. He's one of the characters that have an arc. He's going through a story. His character has a story. Some of them, others, are just surfaced. You know, they're just who they are, and they just got to say kind of things in between and get away with it. But I think, arguably with Will Smith, who I thought was absolutely great in this movie, probably my favorite Will Smith movie in some time would be Viola Davis's Amanda Waller, who I absolutely just ate up and loved it. This is my second time viewing the movie, and I just ate her up 10 times more. I thought she was great. I think the editing is really good at times, and then really choppy and poor at other times. I think there's some really great action sequences, and then I think the final action sequence isn't good at all. I think the effects are really good sometimes, and then other times they're laughable. It's a very flip-flopping movie, and you really kind of feel that. You're like, oh, you know, I enjoyed these parts. It's not a movie you walk out of and you're like, man, I gotta go see that again. It's a movie you walk out of and you're like, oh yeah, I like those parts. But what did they do here? And that's the problem here.
Love it.
Yeah. Spoilers?
Yeah.
Okay. Really quick, if you want to know more, if you want to hear more about like a non-spoiler review, I did a more in-depth non-spoiler review, being as non-spoiler as I could. Click that white eye, you can check out that video. But let's do it. I'm ready to make some spoilers and talk about some real stuff.
Alright, so I guess we'll just talk about the characters. So Will Smith, just to piggyback on yours, I liked him a lot as Deadshot, and I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, I think that, you know, Will Smith was able to kind of hold himself back and hold that typical Will Smith charismatic character back, at least to a degree. There are a few moments where that Will Smith, that quick-tongue Will Smith comes in. But overall, I think this whole story of him trying to prove himself to his daughter really, really works. And
did you like the Batman scene?
Oh yeah, I love the Batman scene, and it's, you know, as much as it might sound crazy, I didn't love it for Batman. I love it because that's the beginning of his change as Deadshot. Because I was, you know, after reviewing the movie, I went to start looking at some of the reviews, and some people were criticizing that character because it doesn't make sense that he's wanting to be a good guy all of a sudden, and they're like, I don't believe that he's one of the world's biggest assassins, killed all these people, and now he just wants to be a good guy. And I was like, that beginning scene is the clear reason why he wants to change, because literally his daughter has now brought up the fact that he kills people and then witnesses him pull a gun and is faced with her, like her father is looking down the barrel of a gun at her, and I think that's a perfect arc, like a beginning of a change for him. So to me, I think that scene's really, really important. But every moment that he has with his daughter, even one that's not really happening at the end of the film, well, it's spoilers, so I guess I could say when she's like, Daddy, don't shoot the bomb, you know, and all this stuff. It's like, it really has an emotional feeling to it, and it's kind of the only heart we have in that movie. I don't feel really that emotion tie anywhere else.
Well, and so I think we'll be different on this one, but I loved Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I really felt that she embodied Harley Quinn. I really thought that, okay, that is exactly how Harley Quinn was or is. So I really liked her.
I wouldn't say love. I think she's fine. I think she did what she needed to do. It's just the fact that they introduced her in a movie with many other characters, and she is totally deserving of a great introduction and a long time origin story, because she's so fascinating. We haven't seen it, and I think that, you know, she's a little bit more in depth than just being like on the surface of being the bubblegum popping, you know, Harley Quinn, but you still don't get that really. You know her and Mr. J are together, but you really don't kind of get very deep with her, and that's not necessarily Margot Robbie's fault. Margot Robbie did all she could do on that front, and she did a great job.
I didn't like Joel Kinnaman's Rick Flag. I thought I thought it was so lame. I thought so much of that character was lame, and I think Tom Hardy dodged a bullet. Maybe it might have been different if he would have taken it, and the script would have been different because he would have not wanted to change it. I don't know.
On a roll, you know? Matt Hardy. Tom Hardy's on a roll.
But I think he dodged a bullet, dude. I think he yeah.
The character isn't very interesting. You know, the character is just kind of there for, and that's another thing I think this movie has a problem of. Character choices and characters are simply there to continue the plot. Like, doesn't feel like they're really motivated to do something, and this is just happening as we go along. It feels like, this character has to say this now because this is what we need him to know, and this character is doing this because we need him to have this love interest, you know, so on and so forth. But I mean, he wasn't someone that bothered me necessarily, but he didn't stand out to me.
It actually bothered me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I actually got annoyed, I think.
Yeah? With just like the way he was, like this.
Just, I don't know, just maybe his dialogue, the way he was acting. I
got annoyed that he got, like, taken twice, like, back to back. And he's like, get off me! It's like, yeah, they're just going to stop. I mean, I know that's ridiculous, because that's what I would say, too, probably, if someone grabbed me. But I was just like, come on, again?
Jared Leto's Joker, I think for me, it's going to be, like, Spider-Man in Civil War. You had him for, like, 20 minutes, and people are like, oh, that was the greatest Spider-Man. And it's like, I don't know how they see that because you only saw him for 20 minutes. I liked him a lot. I enjoyed it. But for me, I think this Joker, right now, I don't know if I like it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to. But again, that's why I mentioned that's because I didn't see enough for me to really decide. You give me a 2-hour movie and he's in half of it, then I'll really be able to tell you. But that Joker was very different. But when they keep on saying, meaning the writers and stuff, there's like, this is a 2016, if he was the leader of a gang, and that makes sense, you know, because if you were in a gang today, you would have tattoos like that, and you would have a stupid grill, and you would have all that stuff in today's society. We know some people have that.
And they wanted to do the same thing with Lex Luthor, and that didn't necessarily work out either.
That was, we have a discussion on that, and I don't want to go there.
I mean, I get that, but Joker is also that person who doesn't need to follow suit with everyone else. But I understand that, and I agree with your saying it's a bit too. He didn't bother me, but
didn't bother me.
He was one of those people that I think lacked a real presence. Like, I didn't feel like I think the way they introduced him and Harley Quinn were really poor. Like, I don't feel like they were like, oh my, like, there it is. After all this time, there they are. And to me, that really kind of bothered me because it's just, oh, here's Harley Quinn. And granted, her entrance is better than his. He's just in a chair and he's talking. And it's just like, oh, I don't feel that, like, presence. Where Spider-Man, even though we've seen it 100 times in that trailer, you know, when he grabs Captain America's shield, even in the trailer, you're like, oh man, there he is. And I think that he was even, I mean, I know we're getting off topic now with Spider-Man, but he really kind of got me excited about Spider-Man. Where Jared Leto has me intrigued, but I didn't love it. I mean, I'm just kind of like, well, we'll see. You know, I'm with you on that. He didn't make that presence on me though, where I was like, oh, I love this guy. To me, he sounds kind of, he sounds very Heath Ledgery as Joker. You know, I kind of did that in my other review.
That voice didn't sound like Heath Ledger to me at all.
Oh yeah, he talks like this. They
sound like Richard
I don't know what
Nixon
that's called.
Or something. It's called Richard Nixon.
But I will tell you this. I will credit this. I did not see Jared Leto at all. Jared, like when I looked at him, I didn't think of Jared Leto. Yeah. I didn't have his face in my mind. Like he was gone. Yeah. And that I have to give him credit for. So again, I don't think that's a Jared Leto mistake. I think that's just him being in this movie that's filled with 15 other characters, and these two characters really need a lot of TLC.
10 or 11 care.
Yep.
Not the group.
No.
Okay. Moving on. Killer Croc. There really isn't much for me to say about it. It was just he was there. Yeah,
that's all he does.
Okay, so we're done with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think he looks great, but they didn't really care about doing much with him. Surface.
If you don't know about Viola Davis, all you have to do is watch How to Get Away with Murder. It's on Netflix, and it's I think first 2 seasons are on there right now. And if you watch that show, then all you're gonna see is Amanda Waller now, because that's exactly how she acts. Yeah. You know, because in that show she is a teacher that will do anything that she has to do to win the case. And in this scenario, Amanda Waller is a character that will do whatever she has to do to make sure that, well, the good thing is she's trying to keep America safe.
Yeah, and you know, and she's willing to do anything, and that was one of my, like, I loved her. Like, she was arguably, her and Will Smith were my favorite part about this whole entire movie. And we were watching this with Louis Vuitton, who was like, all right, I think you're blowing it out of proportion, but I ate up everything she said. There's even this really great moment in the very beginning where Harley Quinn's like, you the devil? She's like, maybe. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I ate everything about her up. The way that she could stand and look and literally just walk into Killer Croc, a man of that size.
Oh yeah, that was good too.
Like that's just like, you have so much gall. Yeah, I mean, I loved it.
Yeah.
And I think she really was like really great and being ruthless and being raw. The only thing I didn't like about her situation is there's a really great moment where this government official shoots 5 other government officials, and it's just kind of glazed over. You know, she goes, well, they weren't on the right intel. They weren't supposed to know about any of this. And, you know, Will Smith's like, oh, we're the bad guys. But, like, I don't think that hits people the way that it should. Like, this girl's so ruthless. She will kill 5 people, not flinch about it. And it just, like, even tells you more about how, like, just sick that character is. Yeah, she's not a meta-human, as we call him in this movie, but she is just like Will Smith says, that is gangster. She does not care. She is equal evil on the other side. And she gave off this feeling. I loved watching her. I thought she was equally like one of the best villains in this movie.
If you watch a lot of the trailers like I do, they took out so many scenes. There's a scene where Will Smith has a shot glass. He says, what am I, 12? That wasn't in there. There's a scene where Joker looks into a suitcase, and then that wasn't it.
I'm assuming was supposed to be the suitcase with Enchantress's heart.
You would think that, yeah. You would think.
I mean, I don't know when that would have happened.
Neither do I.
But yeah,
that wasn't in. There's a scene where Harley Quinn or Dr. Quinzel has a gun to Joker's head. That's not in the movie. There's and then this is where this is coming from. Let's talk about Katana. In the trailers, it shows her with her soul-sucking sword getting someone's soul, and then that whole scene is gone. Yeah. So it's like all these deleted scenes or all these scenes were deleted, and then Katana. I liked her, but there's not much. Yeah. There's just not Killer Croc. I liked him. There's just not much.
And that was another thing that bothered me. Like Rick Flag was like, her sword.
What is he, a narrator?
Yeah, you know. Well, like again, that's one of the things in writing. If you can't show me, then you have to tell me. And when
Exposition.
you're telling me, when you're telling me, if you have to physically tell me something, you're failing because you need to be showing it to me. And then they say it twice. right? Like he's like his soul, steel soul. Her husband got killed. His soul's in there. Like,
we heard you
damn
the
it.
first time.
Yeah.
The first time we heard you. Yeah, the exposition's ridiculous, and that's the
But
right.
she
That
was
goes
cool.
into writing though.
Yeah, I think she was good. Like even in her one moment where she actually like has to give a performance, I'm like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah,
Like,
she was cool.
But again, there's no reason for me to super care about her because she's not a very developed character.
El Diablo.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, good
I was
character.
really surprised like how much I liked
Who would have
him.
thought he looked like that?
Yeah, I mean, no, I think his whole I think his whole look was great. I think everything about him was great. And again, like I said earlier, he has that arc. He has that story of regretting who he is, regretting what he's done, trying not to do it. And even though I think the moment at hand when he actually has to unleash his powers is a bit simple, like it didn't really seem like that hard of a change back. I think it overall pays off, and you could tell that he wants, you know, obviously at the end he's like, just get rid of it, like I don't want to be here anymore. And I think it was a really like great little arc. Like if because his arc wasn't super deep, like it was just like, oh, I did this mistake, I don't want to be around anymore, I don't want to do it. It's very easy. If everyone had that story, that small story arc, it would work on a much better level. But he got it. And I enjoyed the hell out of him, even though the effects around him weren't always very good, especially the ending. I did not like the whole transformation thing.
Cara Delevingne, holy crap! This is where
She's the one that doesn't like us.
Every scene. This isn't Cara Delevingne's fault, but every scene just was so dumb to me, right from the beginning. Enchantress,
Yeah.
right? Steals the thing. I was like, okay, I could deal with that. That's fine. And then the whole idea, the whole thing with her brother, that was stupid. And the way,
Yeah, because she's the villain of the movie, which we didn't, you know.
You just take a little chopstick and hurt her heart. Again,
The coolest thing about I can't say her name.
Enchantress.
Thank you. Is like the first time we see her switch. And we see her
that was
hand on the
cool.
desk, and you see the other hand, and
That's
they just
cool.
flip. I think that was the coolest part. And then that's it. She goes from being like cool looking, because like at least she's cool looking and like intriguing, but then she just goes into like Warcraft mode. And her and her brother look like they escaped from Warcraft or Lord of the Rings, and you're just like, what the hell's going on here? Why is
It
there this
didn't
like
fit.
samurai orange?
It didn't fit.
Yeah. I don't care, you know, comic book or not, if that's true to the comic or not, it didn't fit here, it didn't work, the effects were bad, and every time, and then at the end, me and Louis Vuitton were cracking up because she just do this the whole entire time at the end. She was talking like this, you know?
Wow.
She did, and like obviously it wasn't like that fast, but she did. She was like, "Oh, you join my army." And I was like, "What the hell?" And then, like, I get it, and you know, sometimes you can't be too, you know, you don't want to be too analytical of something because you understand that there needs to be a situation. But this witch, who literally can do almost anything we're told them, she could just do all this, cannot take out 7 people.
They aren't
Half
even
of them are
meta.
human, yeah.
They're not even.
Which-
Harley
which-
Quinn
which
is a normal
human.
human being. There's nothing amplified about her. She's normal. She has a baseball bat.
And then, like, another thing I didn't get is, like, she was distracted by the blue light while her brother was being murdered. Like, she could have been like, oh, my brother's in trouble. Hold on. You know, like, and, like, the blue light's going for half the movie and it ain't doing nothing. And, you know, and
Except
it's
for
just,
has a halo of
yeah,
trash.
it's just that blue beam damn stereotype in every movie. And that's never a good sign. No more blue beams, guys. Please, no more blue beams in the sky. It's never a good thing. It's always sucking stuff in and then it never works, you know. I just didn't get her whole thing. Like,
There was nothing to get.
Yeah, I get, like, she's like, oh, we used to be worshipped. And she's like, I'm gonna take over the world. Like, oh, come on, man. Like, I get the world thing. Like, that is stereotypical. Like, that's what all villains want. But it just seems so, like, okay. Like, that last action sequence just feels so added on. It's rough. Yeah, that to me is where they lose me. And then, like I said, with El Diablo turning into the skull creature and they're fighting, I'm just like, oh god, what's happening? And then he turns back into human, and then it works, but I don't know. It's, you know, it's just like, what's going on? And
Yeah.
then I didn't like either.
So I don't want to say this, but when we went to see Guardians of the Galaxy the first time,
Yeah.
you know, at
that's
the end
right,
of it, I
me and you.
said, oh, now I understand how Star Wars people feel. And if I didn't see Guardians of the Galaxy, I probably would have watched this and said, you know, it's probably not possible to have that many new characters into a movie, and they're cramming it.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not true. because Guardians of the Galaxy had just as many people, and when I left that theater watching that, I said, "Oh my god!" You know. So and then this one,
You're gonna get in trouble with the DC fanboys. You keep bringing up Marvel.
No, I'm just saying because that's the only way you can compare.
Shoe
it.
can't even be bought. I know the theory that we're all paid off by Disney. Shoe can't even be paid off by Disney. He's not even a film critic. This is just a fan here. I mean,
And I like DC more.
Yeah,
Because of Batman, Superman,
absolutely.
Harley Quinn, Joker. I like
people
them
who
better.
don't know me know that I'm an
Clayface.
avid Batman fan.
Yeah.
Huge. And he had a nice presence, speaking of which. He was alright in here, you know. I'm getting tired of like him constantly tell us that we're making a Justice League because we all know it. So like he's always like, well, me and my friends, I need to gather a team. I need some friends. It's like, oh, come on, man. I know. Like, shut up. Stop saying that. You know?
But you only feel that way because you saw the trailer.
No, because like because at the end of things, he's like, I'm gonna gather a team, and then I think at some other point in the movie, at BVS, and then at the end of this movie, he's talking about gathering the team, and I think at some other point in this movie, he mentions team or friends.
Who?
Ben Affleck.
No, he's only in it at the end.
Okay, maybe
He never had any dialogue.
So maybe just from BVS
Yeah.
and this is just.
no, you're saying that because you saw the trailer.
Yeah,
for
okay.
Justice League,
or
that's
BVS,
why.
yeah,
That's why.
and that too. Yeah, that's right. You're
No,
right.
that's the only
Yeah.
reason. I'm telling you, that's
No,
the
because
reason.
at the end of BVS, he like says that,
So he said that's once.
and then here,
So that's not a lot.
that's
They
still
said it-
twice. That's a couple times.
Right,
And-
they said it once.
and then they do
so
it-
they said it once in one movie,
Yeah.
and there was another movie they said it once.
Yeah.
You're only saying that because there's a trailer that you saw.
That helps. Yeah, that helps too. But still, I don't care. Everyone knows they're making a Justice League movie. I don't need to hear it anymore.
Again, you're only saying that because you are familiar with
Okay.
the movie's coming out.
Okay.
That is the reason.
Well, it's because you said it enough. I like the Flash cameo. I didn't see that one coming. I thought that was a nice little.
Oh, that's the one I knew.
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell you.
Yeah, I thought that was like a nice little.
He looks bad. I like it. Looks good.
Cool. Who are we forgetting? Do we go through everyone in the
I think
Suicide
that's
Squad?
everybody. So overall,
Oh no, Shu. I know as much you want to jump over. God, now I can't even think of his name. Jai Courtney, because I know you're not that big of a fan.
yeah, I liked Captain Boomerang. He was awesome.
Yeah, he was. I think he's
Again,
good.
not a lot to work with.
Not a lot to work with, but I
everything
thought
he was in, loved it. And
he felt like-
his unicorn, loved it.
He felt like he very much belonged in that role. But I will say, again, when I was talking about when characters are doing things just because of the plot necessarily, I don't believe that Captain Boomerang or Killer Croc would have been like, all right, let's go help them at the end. When they could just leave, I just thought they would just bounce. I don't find, like, there's no good reason for them to join them. Like, Harley Quinn's crazy and just doesn't have anything else to do.
And
so
she'll
she'll
Joker
go.
died.
Diablo and Will Smith need redemption, and they want to help Rick Flag. But the other two, I don't believe. And Katana obviously was a good person.
Oh yeah, that annoyed me too. How she went into the bar. The whole
Oh,
movie,
yeah.
she's not on their side. The whole movie, she don't like them. And then all of a sudden, the flip, which was
Oh, the bar, the best scene in the entire.
oh, they
movie.
took all that out.
Yeah, they took a lot of that out, but that was honestly my favorite part about the movie because we actually get to hear these characters. They're talking about where they are mentally, and you actually get to see their disputing philosophies and their way that they see themselves. You have El Diablo, who feels so regretful about his powers and hates who he is, and realizes that karma is going to get him, and he needs to be, everything that happens to him, he's deserved. And you have Harley Quinn, who wants him to embrace that evil and who just doesn't understand why he's conflicted. And that moment, even as small as it is, really works and tells you a lot about the characters.
And then when Jai Courtney says, "You're ugly," all of that worked.
Yep, all of it worked.
Yeah, all of that.
And I love the little connection between Harley Quinn and Killer Croc, 'cause that happens very small in the movie, but she's like, "Yeah, you are." I think that's just a really great line. But Will Smith and Harley Quinn also have a really great chemistry here.
Yeah, and then in that scene too. Harley Quinn's supposed to ask El Diablo, "What do you want to drink?" Water. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
They literally took out.
Yeah, but I didn't need that.
No, I'm just saying that in this movie they took out so much that they showed in the trailer.
I'm sure
They
in a few months,
The
Suicide
ultimate
Squad
cuts.
Ultimate 4-hour edition.
and I'm gonna buy it.
Now, you're probably going to yell at me because I don't remember. Was this movie rated R? No,
What movie?
This movie?
It was never supposed to be.
Okay, that's what.
No, this was always PG-13.
Yeah, and I think it was tame for being PG-13 too, and I thought that was good, but I don't know why for a second I thought it was R. It could have been R. I thought they could have went that extra mile, but it makes sense why they didn't.
But I am excited for a very well done script with the exact same characters. Because I had no problems with any of the Suicide Squad members. No problems.
Yeah, nope. I think the cast worked. I think there's just some story issues, and I can't even say that's all necessarily David Ayer's fault. You know, I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it, but overall, this movie has its issues, and though it is not a great movie, it is definitely a movie worth seeing.
Yeah, I mean, 1 through 10, I give it a 7.5.
That's pretty generous. I wouldn't go that. I don't know if I do that because I think that there
What do you
are.
give it? He does 4 stars. What do you do?
Yeah, I would 2.5.
Okay.
So I mean, it's definitely above mediocre.
Mediocre.
But you know, I think this movie's only 2 hours, but there are still some moments I feel like it drags a little bit. You know, it's just little things here and there. And then like watching this movie again, I caught a lot of the editing problems that I you know, because I really like the stylish editing in the beginning, but then you notice how choppy the editing is sometimes. Like, you know, and sometimes it's just got to happen. Like, for instance, that bar scene. Like you said, there's so much cut out. It's hard not to make those kind of mistakes. Like in the club, when Common is there, you know, Harley Quinn's walking, and then in the next cut, she's kind of like immediately sat down somewhere else, and it's like, oh, whoa, that was a weird cut. And that happens a few other times in the movie where you're just like, oh, I think we're missing something here. But I still found enjoyable things about this movie. It's just that last 20 minutes and you're just like, okay, what the hell is going on here?
Loved it. All right, so yeah, 7.5. So I like it. It's good.
2.5.
Yeah. So I know there was a lot of negativity, but I want to say this
I don't think
for
it's
all
horrible.
the.
That's really crazy.
No, about this review. It seemed very negative. Like we. But I just want to say that I love these characters so much. You know.
I love a few of them. I don't love everyone yet. I love Will Smith as Deadshot.
No, not even the actors. I'm talking about the characters. I love these characters.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. As far as characters, I love Deadshot. He's an interesting character. Harley Quinn has a lot of potential. El Diablo I loved. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see it again. You know,
I don't think he's
Mandawala, I loved. You don't think El Diablo died? Really? I totally disagree. Why do you not think that?
Because his movies.
What do you mean?
Because it's a movie.
Yeah, but so what? They be killing off everyone in DC. They killed off what's her name in BVS, Lex Luthor's girl.
Yeah, but she didn't. I think she had one speaking line.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So I mean, that worked. You don't need him. You don't.
Time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, if they bring him back, great, because I loved him. But you know, anyway.
7 days later, we got Sausage Party.
Sausage Party and Peach Dragon, the remake. So I'm excited for that, Bryce Dallas Howard. And then we have that comedy, which is supposed to be just, everyone's excited about that movie.
I think it looks
everyone
hilarious.
is just like so excited that they're making an art animation like it's never been done before. It's like, all right, guys, this happened a long time ago, but okay.
All right.
I'm just trying to think if I have anything else to say about Suicide Squad. I guess not. Go check out my other review, non-spoilers. Pretty in-depth too. A lot of fun comment sparring, so make sure to go check that out. You know, everyone who hasn't seen the movie likes to argue with me.
Love it.
That's it. That's all I got. Oh, if you're watching this in the matter of 8 hours or so when this goes up, 8:25 will be on 98.5 doing the review of Suicide Squad.
Kill you see.
Yep. Yeah, that's in 5 hours. So if you watch this in the next 2 hours, I'll see you on there.
This won't even be live in time.
Yeah, probably.
I know it won't be. No, I already know it won't be.
She's good. Yeah. All right. Well, when I see you next Friday around 8:20, tune in.
Just every Friday.
Every Friday. That's what she's got it right. Every Friday.
Every Friday.
Every Friday. That's it. Anything else you guys say about
Film Lovers website, homie.